Hello, this video is going to show you ClassCraft, which is a great tool I've been using for the last year to gamify my classroom. I've been using it with all of my classes last year and I'll use it again. Before that, I was actually a tech integration coach who was helping other teachers use it in their classroom, and they were customizing it for language classes. So for example, one teacher was a German teacher, so she customized it for those students. I'm going to show you how I use it in design and how I customize it for IB and NYP students. So it's a really good time of the year to record a video to show you because I haven't imported my students yet, so you can't see student names, for example. What happens when you log into ClassCraft is, I'm going to go into here, all your students get given a different character and they can decide if their character is a mage, a warrior, or a healer, and those have kind of different powers. And I'll explain those in a minute. But they really like just the act of going in and customizing. They get more and more gold pieces as well as HP for participating in ClassCraft. So gold pieces can buy them cool capes and cool parts of their costume. And I'm going to show you, I'm actually taking part in one as a student at the moment. This is how it looks. So I have my person, you can see my health, my AP, my XP, my experience, and my gold pieces. I have some powers, and I can customize my character if I like as well. Some of the powers that they can earn include things, well, I've customized some of them, and some of them are ones that were already embedded. When you set up a new class, you can actually customize them too, so I'll show you. But I have ones like, if you earn this power, you can take a 3-minute break, which really I let my students take anyway, but students will ask for it and they'll just go for a walk down the hall or they'll go get water. Or I have one where they can swap seats with someone and stuff like that. So actually, if I go into my dash, and if I pretend that I'm making a new class, I think I can show you these things. So I'm going to do PD ClassCraft, and I'm going to import my settings from one of my other classes, and I can customize it further. You can obviously do that one too. So I'm going to bring in my stuff from grade 6. So these are the ways that I can give them points: strengthening their approaches to learning, strengthening their IB learner profile, ABCD, going above and beyond the call of duty, extra awesome quest answer and great quest answer. I'll show you quests in a minute. There's self-paced activities I do with my students. And then if I have a winner for the Kahoot, they get 300 XP as well. And you could actually break this down. So instead of having just approaches to learning, you could have the individual ATL groups. You could have excellent research skills, fantastic collaboration skills, etc. Same with IB Learner Profile. What I'm doing this year is I'm setting up with just a few behaviors to reward, and a few other things, and I'm going to ask the students to customize them themselves. They're going to give me suggestions. What do they think they should be able to earn points for or lose points for? The next one is, which behaviors do you want to discourage? I really try not to do this. I like to give positive reinforcement and focus on the positive kids in class. However, I say in the design room, first things first, not following safety rules. At the moment I have 25 HP, and that could be as simple as wearing headphones when people are using equipment, bringing bags into the room, being the opposite of an IB learner. So that kind of covers all those things that some of the things I might see, like students not being a good communicator because they're talking over the teacher, or they're talking over someone presenting, or maybe someone is being mean, so I would say they're not being caring. And then obviously gaming in class. And I showed them this has 200 HP. I showed them you can use ClassCraft in class to gamify the learning, and often we use educational games, but you should always be on task. And you can add as many of these as you want. Some people have not bringing in homework, not bringing the right equipment to class. And then lastly, and these are the student powers. What happens is, because students can choose warrior, mage, or healer, each class will have a mixture, and so they want to choose which one the powers and stuff suit most, and they try and have a balanced team. So I have that 3-minute stretch I mentioned. I said at the end of every class, I try and show a fun video. At the beginning of every class, I usually show a music video from around the world as they're coming in. And then, so the student can choose the videos. They have to send it to me before my next lesson, and I have it queued up for the last 5 minutes after everyone's packed up, we watch their video. And you can see a few more here. And they're different for each character. You can actually, if you want, I can share you one of my settings and you're welcome to import it, or you can use ClassCraft ones or customize it as I want. So for example, the mage can switch seats with a classmate throughout the day, or the mage earns 5 minutes of free time at the end of class. They can actually go when that video is on. Usually no one uses this because they like to stay anyway. Okay, sentences. I don't really like to have that many sentences either, because I don't have that many punishments or things they can lose HP for, they just use it in random events. I just have silly ones. So for example, fill up Miss Dutton's water bottle whenever she requests it. This one is funny because I have one student who's always fidgeting and talking in class, so he got this, and I would like down my whole water bottle, and then he'd have to go fill it again, and I'd do like 5 times in the class. So it's kind of funny. Or they lose gold pieces. I used to have ones like students should bring in a treat for the class, or student has to send me a design video. I just wanted to keep it simple this year and see what students wanted to add. And then you set your class date and you press set. I'm not going to accept that one because I want to have just my classes that I already have. If we go into one of my current classes, you'll see I don't really have that much set up yet, but I will show you some of the basic things. So I'll go into that 6A class and I'll show you. And also another reason I wanted to do this video is at the moment I haven't got the Pro account. I will upgrade soon, but I just wanted to show you all the awesome features that are available on the completely free account. Okay, so here, when I have my class, I will see all my students, their characters, their HP, XP, etc. I can organize them into teams. They can choose a team 1, for example. They can choose team name, then I can drag the players. They can also add like a crest and a background. And sometimes I decide, it depends on the class. Sometimes I decide this, sometimes I pick it myself. For my first LEGO League students who are in grade 7, I will put them in their robotics teams. So I think that's really nice. Sorry that I keep jumping around. And then the teams work really well because sometimes I can have them do team tests together and all sorts of stuff. Next thing is class tools. So I have the random wheel of destiny. What happens if I have my class generated? I click this and it will randomly pick a student. So this means I can say, okay, I need one student who's going to collect all the homework for me. I click it. I don't use this too much because I have some students in my class who are totally new to English. I have some shy kids, so I don't like to choose this too much. Random events. Now, random events is hilarious, and my students beg me for these. This is a great way to split up a long class or as a reward at the end. I will use random events if they need a quick break, or sometimes to just beg me, please, can we have a random event? It's okay, we need to do our work first and then we'll do it. When you click it, it literally is a random event. So what's going to happen, I'm going to say see event, and it will have a sort of story. So we'll see an example, and then it might make someone lose points, gain points, or it might have a real world consequence. So there's one where everyone in the whole class has to say meow at the end of every sentence. Okay, so let's do see event. The lottery. One lucky player holds the golden ticket. This is the one they die for. One random player gets 500 XP and 100 gold pieces. And then they want to see the name. They do drum roll. And then it would have the character. So I'll show you a couple more of those. In fact, if I go into settings, you can customize all of these completely as well. So when you're making one, you write this. So the fan. You are the only person with a fan. The rest of the group is sweltering. I can't even. Is melting in the heat. Okay. Applies to one player or one healer maybe. You get extra health. Okay, so all different things I can do like that, and that would affect, you can do one per team, you can do everyone, one, none, one, healer, random, and maybe I'm going to choose someone who's got the lowest HP, so it helps them. So really, really cool, and the students really love coming up with these. I have one, The Pirate's Life for You, where they have to talk like a pirate, A Whole New World, where they have to sing a verse from Disney song, Pokemon Adventure, I Choose You, Pikachu. There's a McDonald's one that one of my students made, which he just, every time it came up, he would laugh, which involves someone getting food poisoning. Okay, this one I like. Toot, toot, toot all the way. Some of you are a little bit stinky. Are you sick? One random player per team loses 5 HP. Some of these are from ClassCraft's default settings. Some my students made and I made, but plenty are ones that have been shared in the ClassCraft forums by other teachers, which I think is ace. Okay. I'm going to go back into, oh, and look here. Okay, in fact, one of the things that is not in the free account is the boss battle. So let's just go back and look at those class tools next to random events. You'll see the first one that I actually use a lot is the volume meter. And so I would set this in my class. In fact, students would often even ask me to set it. Click on it and you'll say, okay, if the noise goes above whatever volume, you guys will lose a certain amount of HP. Or if you are able to be silent or quiet for the next 15 minutes, then you're going to get 500 XP. And the students literally, sometimes they're just working, they're like, Miss, can you put the volume meter on? So they love that. I also have the timer and the stopwatch. So if I'm not associating points, I need them to be quiet. If it's timer for how long we're working on something, or stopwatch to see how quickly they can do something, they're defined too. I don't use those too much. And the other one is boss battle. Now, I don't have this available at the moment, but what happens is it's a multiple choice quiz, and they'll have a boss, so it'll be like a kind of dragon or something that has 500 health points, and each time they get a question right, that guy would lose 50 health points. You can customize it completely how you want. If we go in here, you'll see I just have a few general ones. So I have computer trivia, animation, I have MYP design command terms. So I can go and I can see, okay, I have this monster. He has got 80 HP. If I got all the questions right, I'd get 104, but students probably won't. So this boss is quite hard to battle. If they defeat him, they get 500 XP for everyone and 150 gold pieces. And you can see it has all of the command terms, and then they have to get them right. And okay. And then I also have someone's linked to things we'll be doing in class. And I have some random trivia that have loads and loads and loads of questions, just so I can put it on whenever. I even have UN global goals. I do need to get better at making some of these, but actually some of these, I think this one, for example, Galaxies, Light Years, and Big Bang Theory, were also shared by other teachers in the marketplace. Now, the next thing I want to show you is this next tab. It's called Quests. Now what you can see is, I'm going to keep this one private. Normally I have a whole bunch, but I just archived most of them. I just made one today, which is called Save the World, and it's about UN Global Goals. All of the ones that I do tend to be self-paced, and they're kind of self-paced activities and lessons, because I have a lot of students who really love design or really love the content of the class, but I don't like to set homework. So this is extra stuff they can do at home, and many of the students do. Or if I'm sick or absent, they can do that. If the student has finished project we're working on, then they can do that as well. So what happens when you make one of these is that you have an introduction. So in my story, this is about someone lives in a town, they hear a bell going in the morning, so they walk to the town square, and there's a little girl there who's telling the town that she's had a vision in her sleep, a vision all about the destroyed future. And it's all linked to UN Global Goals. So it says, there is time to make a change, but we need to do so by the year 2030. So after this intro, the next ones all have a story element and a task. So on your way home, you feel excited, etc. It says, what do you think the biggest threat to our future is? Okay, and you have to find 3 facts. What I like to do is put stuff in the discussion section. So you can do it as an assignment where students have to upload work or submit stuff. But if I do it in the discussion section, firstly, it makes me not do a question that is right or wrong, because otherwise one person puts the answer in that everyone copies. I always do it as an opinion or get them to state something. So, you know, any student could answer this a million different ways. And then also they see each other's. Okay, my next one, for example, is about, okay, look at the problem you just talked about. They're in a tavern and they're all talking about the problems they think are going to change the world, and they come up with a list of 17 goals, UN development goals, and then that's what they work on. And it says, think about your current problem. Is it linked to a UN global goal? And they write a newspaper headline. So you can do all different types of these. I also had one published in as Quest of the Month, which is pretty cool because they got to make an avatar of me, and you can read a little bit about it. This one was all about coding, and it had lots of coding activities, starting with block coding, going through to writing games and stuff with code. Again, there's the marketplace. You can go in and find these. So I submitted mine just to the marketplace for anyone to see, but it also got chosen for class quest of the month. You can go see all the other quests of the month. You can see quests of the week. You can browse by subject. I don't know how many computer science ones there are now. So loads. And all you have to do is you import it and you can add it to your classes. You can obviously customize them as much as you want as well. And this really is nice. The more teachers that use ClassCraft, the more that are sharing. If, just like I was saying before, Boss Battles is not part of the the free version. However, ClassCraft is kind of, the quests for ClassCraft are kind of in between. So the ClassCraft that I just showed you, the one that I have made, it only has 6 objectives. So this means that it can be used by a free account. I purposely made this so that people with free accounts can test out and see how quests work. If you want to make a longer one, you do need the pro account. But again, the pro account is really not expensive. I think for me last year it was $80 for a year. For unlimited student, unlimited classes, I use it for all of them. So again, I put these as my homework. Since doing ClassCraft, I have found so much engagement from my students. I even made things like a ESL quest for my students who are new to English, using resources from places like Breaking News English. And all my students who are, English first language are like, please, can I do the quest? They love it. I just had a student who is in grade 10 now doing a tour of the school for a new student. She was like, oh my God, ClassCraft is amazing. So it's loved by all ages. Even those older kids who maybe you think wouldn't like stuff like this, they love it, okay? It's a really nice way for me at the beginning of the year to get to know the grade 6s, to get them to collaborate. It's a really good motivator for them. And, as I said, I don't do homework, but I do get notifications when people do the work. And every night I have kids who are doing the quests. So I really, really recommend it. And you can customize it entirely to be kind of IB appropriate with the ways they get points, even with the ClassCraft quest. So I think I had one before, which was linked more to the IB learner profile. If you have any questions, you can always ask me. I'm on Lenny Dutton at Twitter, or you can ask me on my blog. I'm not always the best at getting back to my blog comments straight away, but I will try. But yeah, give ClassCraft a go. Super easy to set up, super fun to use, and yeah, be part of the community.